Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. As usual, I'm your host Shravan. We have our co-host Tyrone here with us. Seems a bit tired, he's like yawning.
Hey everyone.
Don't mind the bird that's twinning in the background. I don't know if you could hear that, but
I think it's from your end.
I can't find a bird here, and you can't find a bird there, so I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we on a third video call with a bird? Is that what's happening?
And it's just repeatedly going, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a animated TV show of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, that came out almost, 10 years ago actually. It's been a while since it's been aired. But we recently just watched it because we heard it was a really good TV show, and we both really enjoyed it, so we thought, why not let's do an episode on this, because it's probably a show that a lot of people that would like Spider-Man would really enjoy. So here we are. I guess we could start with our initial thoughts on the show. What did you think of the overall show? There's only 2 seasons of it, so we'll talk about why there's only 2 seasons of it a little bit later on, but there's 26 episodes and 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's pretty short. 26 episodes as well. It's basically like 2 half seasons, so 1 full season. Yeah.
And the episodes themselves aren't that long. They're like 20 minutes long, probably.
Yeah, they're 20 minutes. Well, it's like a normal cartoon episode length. I thought it was a pretty good show. I remember watching the old Spider-Man. I forget what it's called. Is it
Spider-Man the animated series?
Is that the one that came out in the 90s? Yeah,
so that came out in 1994, and I think that went for like 5 seasons. Because that had quite a few episodes.
Longer than this one.
Yeah, because a lot of people would have probably watched that one. Well, we watched that one, and we didn't watch this one, because maybe, I don't know if it must have come out in Australia, but we just missed it. So we never watched this when it came out on TV.
It's a Disney show, so it probably only aired on Foxtel, which is the pay-per-view service in Australia.
Yeah, well, Season 2 was on Disney XD in America, but Season 1 was on Kids WB on the CW. So we might have got it, because we get Kids WB.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. So I think we just might have missed it, because it was like 2008, 2009, and we kind of weren't watching like Saturday morning. Yeah, we weren't really watching Saturday morning TV shows at that stage, so
yeah,
we might have just missed it. But we did watch the 1994 Spider-Man, the animated series.
The difference between that and this one is, well, the animation's better in this one, obviously, but there's a few more characters in that one from the wider Marvel universe. That one, because they had 5 seasons, so they did a lot more in that one. They did like Secret Wars, and they did all the arcs in that pretty much. It's got lots of Wolverine in it.
Yeah, it's got Wolverine. I think it's got like the X-Men and stuff as well. Like there's episodes when they
Fantastic
just turn up.
Four, and it's got everything.
Because X-Men had their own animated series at that time as well, and that crossed over with this one, with the Spider-Man animated series. But I tried to watch some episodes of that, but the animation's like pretty jarring now. Like it's hard to watch because it's not great, the animation.
Yeah. I've seen stuff from it, and it's pretty dated in terms of the animation.
But I think the storylines they do would probably be pretty interesting in that. So we might try to watch that at some stage, if we can get like a good quality, if it's on Blu-ray or something, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. But this one, the animation's really good. The storylines are mostly pretty good. I think it loses a bit of steam as it gets to the end of the second season.
Yeah, I think the second season they tried to include more stuff, and it starts to get a bit cluttered. I think they introduced more villains and stuff, and it gets a little bit cluttered. I still think it's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's still not bad for a cartoon show.
I think season 1 was really good, the way it was paced. It's good throughout, but it picks up around the middle, and that storyline flows on till the very end.
Which one? Season 1?
Season 1, yeah. We can talk about it more in spoilers. I mean, there's not... All the storylines they follow in this are typical Spider-Man storylines, so probably everyone who knows about Spider-Man will know what happens. This will be light spoilers for the beginning, and then we'll do like full spoilers at the end. So everyone knows that there's going to be Venom in a Spider-Man show. So they do Venom really well, I thought. There's at least 3 episodes with just the development of Venom, like Black Suit Spider-Man and then Venom.
Yeah.
Which is probably more than what they had in Spider-Man 3.
He's in Black Suit Spider-Man for quite a few episodes.
There's one episode where he gets it, and then there's one where there's at least 2 where he's just in black suit.
I thought it would just be one episode where he gets it and then gets rid of it, but it kept going, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, Eddie Brock gets it, right? And there's at least 3 episodes with him just in it as well.
Yeah, there is. He's basically the main villain at the end of season 1.
He's the main villain, and then I guess season 2's more... it's at the end it's Green Goblin, but it's just random villains most of season 2.
Yeah, random people at the start.
Season 1 has Green Goblin and Venom, which is pretty interesting. They did both in that. I'll talk a bit about just the background of this show. So it primarily uses Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's comics. I think their original comics from Amazing Spider-Man. That's when Peter Parker's in high school. And the tone of those comic books is mostly in line with what they did in this show. So it's like action, a bit of drama and comedy. So it's pretty light-hearted, but when the stakes are on, it is serious as well.
Yeah.
But you can also see, because this came out just after they finished the Sam Raimi trilogy, and you can see the influences of that trilogy on this show as well, because there's some aspects that are a bit similar to that. Especially in season 1, I felt like it was a little bit like Sam Raimi's movies.
It is. The start of it especially.
As it goes on, it gets less like Sam Raimi's, and I think more like the comics probably. And you can see the influences of this show. I don't know if it's directly influenced by this, probably more the comics, but this show on Homecoming. Because this is quite similar to what they did in Homecoming. Because they skip over the whole Uncle Ben thing in this as well. So when it starts, he's already got his Spider-Man abilities, and it's just after the summer holidays, and he's about to start junior high. And then he thinks that everything's gonna be different now because he's got these new abilities, but pretty much nothing's different. He's still a nerd, and he still gets bullied and stuff. But like even the high school aspect of it, it's not like they show it in. Especially in Sam Raimi's movies where the bullies are just like bullies and they have no character depth at all. Like Flash Thompson's actually a proper character in this, and you don't actually even hate him. He's not actually a bad guy.
He has some redeeming arcs.
And they kind of did that in Homecoming as well, because there's people that bully him, but they're not terrible people. They're kind of... The Flash Thompson in Homecoming as well. He's bullies Peter Parker, but he's also kind of a nerd in Homecoming.
Yeah, and he's a loser as well.
Yeah, because they're all kind of nerds. And this is sort of similar, because they all go to this, like... I think this school that's known for its drama classes. I think it's more like a performing arts sort of school.
Okay.
Yeah, because like Mary Jane wants to go there as well. You find out afterwards. So, as I said, it premiered on Kids WB on the 8th of March 2008. And the second season ended on November 18th, 2009. The reason it ended was because of legal disputes. So Sony produced this show, and they owned everything Spider-Man before Disney bought the Marvel rights in 2009. So that's also when the MCU switched to being owned by Disney as well, because the first 3 movies that were produced in the MCU were owned by Paramount.
I thought Marvel produced Iron Man, just Marvel as a company produced Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and Paramount produced Incredible Hulk.
No, actually, Universal produced Incredible Hulk, because they owned the rights for Hulk, and I think Paramount owned the rights for Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. But you're right, because it is Marvel that they were the creative producers, but I think the profits went to Paramount, because they're all Paramount. If you watch them, they all start with the Paramount logo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think Captain America and Thor, because they came out after Disney acquired the rights, but I think they were already in production, so they were still under.
Still Paramount.
But the first movie that...
Avengers.
I'm trying to think. Avengers might have been Paramount as well.
I think it's Disney.
I think it's distributed by Paramount.
Production company's Marvel, obviously.
Yeah. I think those were distributed by Paramount.
Distributed by Disney.
Okay, Avengers 1. So Avengers 1 was when the movie switched over. But this show...
Good call by Disney. They got all the big movies.
Yeah, pretty much. They did all the...
Because the movies before that didn't have...
Yeah, they didn't make much of a profit. They were profitable, but they didn't make like $1 billion. Like Avengers was the first one that made 1.5 billion.
They swooped in when they wanted, when they needed to.
Yeah, because then they had Iron Man 3, which also made $1 billion.
Yeah, for some reason.
And then
actually, it's not that bad. I don't mind Iron Man 3.
And then they had, after Iron Man 3, what did they have?
Thor: The Dark One.
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World. That did all right. It did make $1 billion though. And Captain America: Winter Soldier, which was one of the best movies in the MCU still.
Like 800, I think.
Yeah. And then they had Age of Ultron, which made $1 billion.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Which did really well. So like since then they've really picked up.
Now everything basically makes like $1 billion.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But coming back to this show.
Anyway, good tangent there.
So in 2009, Disney bought the Marvel rights and they got the Spider-Man animated TV show rights along with the Marvel movie rights. So they didn't get the Spider-Man movie rights, but they got the animated TV series movie rights. And they didn't get the license for Spectacular Spider-Man. So Sony owned that. So it was kind of in this state where Marvel had the Spider-Man rights, the animated TV show rights, but Sony had the rights for this show because they produced this show. So Sony couldn't make any more episodes of this show, and Marvel couldn't make any more episodes of this show. So Disney couldn't make any more episodes of this show. So they kind of had to cancel it.
And they made a new one after that, which is not that good.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, but that went for like quite a long time. I think it had at least 3 seasons.
And then there's a newer one now, which is terrible. I've seen a couple of episodes of it. It's horrible.
Yeah, apparently it gets better. Apparently. Like
it's very kid orientated though.
Yeah. And like I guess the animation in this is pretty minimalist as well. But I feel like the new one's even more minimalist. In terms of like it feels very 2D, the new one.
It's kind of tied into their Avengers show that they have as well.
I thought that was the Ultimate Spider-Man, because in the Ultimate Spider-Man they had crossovers with the Avengers.
Which the new Avengers show that they have?
Yeah, the what's it called? The
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what. So I think they just cut Ultimate Spider-Man and they started this new one to get more in line with Homecoming, because I think they wanted to be in line with that.
But yeah, I don't like the new Avengers show either.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good because the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that's much better.
That got cancelled as well.
Yeah, that got cancelled for the same reason. Reason, because Disney bought the Marvel rights.
That was actually a good show. But then they made Avengers Assemble, which isn't bad, but it's not good compared to...
And even season 2 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes wasn't great. Season 1 was really good.
Season 1 was good. I can't remember what season 2... Oh, it's when they kind of introduced Skrulls and everything.
Yeah. They had the secret invasion and stuff, but I don't know, it wasn't as good as the first season.
But it would have been good to see more seasons of that and see more seasons of this as well, rather than seeing the new shows. But
there's still a lot of people that want this show to be renewed for season 3 on Netflix. There's like
really?
Yeah. They want Spectacular Spider-Man on Netflix, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It's probably too late.
Yeah, it's been 10 years, so I don't think it's going to happen. So we can quickly talk about the story. We've kind of already summarized it. So it starts with Peter Parker already with the powers, and they hardly talk about they talk about Uncle Ben, but they don't talk about what actually happened.
There's like an episode where he gets rid of the Venom symbiote, which has Uncle Ben.
That has Uncle Ben, and that ties back to Uncle Ben, yeah. But apart from that, there's not much about it. in a TV show, it's a lot easier to flesh out the characters. So they did really well with pretty much all the supporting characters. So like in this show, they have Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, and Liz Allen. And Mary Jane isn't even a love interest, pretty much.
Mary Jane's hardly in it. She comes like halfway through season 1.
She comes like halfway through season 1. And then she's kind of just like a supporting character.
Yeah, she doesn't do all that much. Gwen Stacy's kind of the main character, and Liz Allen's in there a bit as well. Liz Allen's accent's really off-putting though. I don't know why they chose that as her accent.
And they introduced her brother in the second season as well.
Which is a weird episode, but...
And obviously we talked about Flash Thompson. He kind of has a character arc in the second season as well.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And Eddie Brock is in it for pretty much... He's in it for the whole of the first season. He goes missing for some of the second season, but then he comes back again.
But then he comes back, yeah.
And J. Jonah Jameson is in it. So Peter is working for the Daily Bugle, and that's his excuse for like everything in this show. Like he's like, I've got to work. Pretty much like anytime he needs to be Spider-Man, he's like, yeah, I've got to work. And J. Jonah Jameson was pretty good. Pretty much like what was in Sam Raimi's movies.
Exactly the same. But that's like basically who J. Jonah Jameson is now.
They kind of also have redeeming qualities for him as well in this show.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
With his son and everything.
You might have, when you were watching the shows, you might have noticed what the show, like each episode is called. Each episode is dedicated to like something he learns at school. The whole show is around Peter's education. So season 1 is Biology 101, Economics 101, Chemistry 101, and Psychology 101. So that's why the episodes were like Natural Selection, Survival of the Fittest, Market Forces, which is economics, Competition, which is economics, The Invisible Hand, which is also economics, The Uncertainty Principle. So a lot of it is what he learns
at school.
And season 2 is also the same thing, but the subjects are slightly different. So season 2 is engineering, human development, criminology, and drama.
Oh, okay.
And the episodes in season 2 are like Blueprints, which is criminology, Growing Pains, human development,
yeah.
Gangland, which I guess is also criminology, First Steps, which is human development, Reinforcement, I guess it's human development. Towards the end of the season, it's more the drama one. So like Subtext, Opening Night, Final Curtain.
They have a lot of drama episodes towards the end. We'll get to it, but they do this thing in season 2 a lot. And at the start, it was okay, but then it becomes repetitive a little bit, especially when you're watching the episodes in a row.
So in this series, more than other versions of Spider-Man, he's very sensitive about who knows about his powers. So basically no one knows about his powers in this.
I'm trying to think who does. Well, Eddie Brock knows.
Yeah, Eddie Brock knows because he gets the Venom symbiote. But basically, the only other person that might know is Stacy, Colonel. Is it Colonel Stacy?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yep.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy's dad.
It hints that he kind of knows.
It basically says he knows.
In the second season, anyway.
Yeah. It's never really explained how he knows, but he just does.
Yeah, he kind of like figures it out. I don't know how.
He's a detective.
If you think about it logically, because he always disappears whenever Spider-Man's fighting someone, and he always seems to get photos. Like, if you're smart enough, you could probably figure it out, but... Yeah, but most people wouldn't think... Because there's also this arc where Venom does say that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
They out him as Spider-Man,
but no one believes it.
No one believes him.
And it's got pretty much a full cast of villains.
The first season's like... Each episode is the origin story of one of the villains to begin with.
They don't do any crossovers with other Marvel superheroes in this. Because I think it's also because they couldn't because of legal stuff. But I think Spider-Man has enough in his own universe, so you don't really need crossovers. Because he's got so many villains, and so there's a lot of stuff happening in this series itself, so you probably didn't need it. They even had that reporter guy. You know that reporter guy that goes undercover to figure out what's going on in...
Oh, yeah, that's Ned.
Is it?
His name's Ned, who is the Ned in the Spider-Man Homecoming. But
is it?
Obviously different character.
I thought it was a different character. I thought it was like Foswell or something.
Who you talking about?
You know that guy who puts on a beard? Like a fake beard, and he like goes in... He goes into these like criminal meetings and stuff.
Oh no, I'm talking about someone else. I'm talking about the guy who tries to write an article about who Spider-Man is.
Which episode was that in?
It's one of the episodes where he gets outed as Spider-Man, like towards the beginning. But yeah, I know the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, and Peter helps him too. But yeah, it's got pretty much high and low level villains. So it's got like Green Goblin, Venom, but it's got Hammerhead and just these.
Yeah, it's got some weird villains as well.
Yeah, it's just got these like random guys and the guys who turn into Rhino and Sandman.
Yeah, it's got them before there, Rhino and Sandman.
Basically, all of them are like experiments as well, Norman Osborn experiments.
But as most Spider-Man villains are experiments, even in the comics, they're all just experiments gone wrong. Well, in this one, they're not really gone wrong. They just do experiments on random people.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of one that isn't a failed experiment, because they have Lizard as well.
Vulture isn't an experiment.
Oh yeah, Vulture.
He just makes his wings.
The Vulture in this is a little bit different to the Vulture in Homecoming. Yeah, they changed him a bit.
Homecoming's Vulture's better than the Vulture in this.
Yeah. The Vulture goes missing in this. He's in like the first episode. He's in like some Sinister Six episodes, and then he just disappears.
Don't see him again. Yeah. It's pretty useless as well when he comes.
So who was your favorite villain in this series?
Probably Green Goblin.
I like
Green
Venom.
Goblin or Venom, yeah.
Yeah, I liked Venom, and yeah, Green Goblin was pretty good too.
And Doc Ock's pretty good.
Yeah, Doc Ock's pretty good. Sandman's interesting because he kind of has this episode where he turns
He's got his redeeming arc episode as well, yeah. It's kind of like the Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was. He basically goes from like a normal guy to being Electro in one episode. Like he goes from like being just this normal good guy to being
like just some crazy dude.
But it was probably still better made
than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It probably is.
Yeah, probably still made more sense than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, well, a lot of things do make more sense than Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of the villains are throwaway, though.
So who was this initial Sinister Six? So there was Doc Ock, Vulture, Rhino, Sandman, Electro.
And Shocker.
Yeah. And there was this episode with those guys that are like really fast. Do you remember that? They like bounce off walls and stuff? With Shocker? Like Shocker's in it, and then he's got these two other guys that...
Oh, yeah, he's got his like two sidekick guys. Yeah, I can't remember exactly who they are. One of them's a big dude, and the other guy's a small dude.
Yeah, and it's the episode where Peter Parker's... They're on like this excursion with the police.
Yeah, that's it. That's right, yeah. They're doing a ride-along.
Yeah, that was an interesting episode too, because everyone thinks he's dead, and he just turns up.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, he's fine, yeah. The Sinister Six episodes were pretty good, though. I enjoyed those ones.
Oh, and they switch it up in the second season because they bring in Kraven.
Kraven the Hunter, and they've...
Doc Ock was still there, right?
Doc Ock's still like the leader of the Sinister Six.
Kraven was interesting too because he gets...
Is that how he is in the comics? I think he's just a normal human in the comics, like a strong dude.
Yeah, in this he gets like fused with a lion or something. So
yeah.
Like he's like half lion, half human.
It's a bit weird, but it's a cartoon, so you just go with it.
And they show like the weaknesses of every villain as well. Because in the first time Spider-Man fights the Sinister Six, he's got the black suit on, and that's why he beats them. And he can't even remember beating them.
Yeah.
Because like the black suit completely takes over, and he like goes home and sleeps, and Aunt May has a heart attack, and he doesn't even know about it.
Yeah. That episode's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's when he gets rid of it as well.
Yeah.
And then Black Cat, she like appears in and out every now and then.
Yeah, in random episodes.
I think they were going to expand on her character more in the third season.
She's kind of like an anti-hero. Silver Sable's in it for a little bit.
Yeah, Silver Sable's in it as well.
What's Tombstone is like one of the main villains in the first season.
Yeah, and then he's in it for the second season too, and like his henchman Hammerhead like turns on him as well.
Yeah, which is a weird arc. Like the Green Goblin makes him turn on him.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting because they did kind of do all the villains pretty well. So, and they have Silver Sable's dad as well.
Yeah, Silver Mane. Yeah, all of them are comic accurate and they're all good. Obviously, some of them are not as fleshed out as other ones, but overall, it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, like I was saying, they show the weaknesses of every villain because Rhino, he just takes him like somewhere hot, and then Rhino just loses.
Yeah.
And then Sandman, he just takes him into the water, and then
and then he loses. Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, like other villains, it's a bit harder, like Green Goblin and stuff. He doesn't defeat them that easily.
Green Goblin's really well done in this, actually.
He's pretty funny as well.
He's funny, yeah, because all the other villains, Spider-Man makes jokes and they don't really say anything back.
Yeah.
But he makes jokes back to him. Good back and forth.
Yeah, and Spider-Man's actually pretty funny in this as well.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
And they kind of follow that in the game as well.
I think, yeah, this is one of the better animated versions of him.
Because the 94, the old Spider-Man animated series, not like the 60s one, but the
60s one's great. What, the live action 60s one?
No, remember the animated 60s one?
Oh,
it's like Spider-Man in color.
Isn't it Hanna-Barbera?
It might have been. It felt like one of them, but I think it was just a normal Marvel cartoon.
Yeah. That's the one that made off the song.
Yeah, that's the one with the song. Yeah, the Spider-Man song. But yeah, the song in this is really good. I like it.
Yeah. There's this one random episode where one of the villains starts singing the song.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? And also, do you realize at the start of each episode, it's got different characters?
Yeah, it's got like different people. So at the start of each episode, they have the introductory song, and they show characters in the song. But the characters change as the season goes on. Like, some episodes have Gwen Stacy's dad in it.
Yeah, some of them have just random... Some of them have, like, Flash Thompson. One of them has J. Jonah Jameson. Like, it's got random people in each episode.
Yeah, and the first season, I think it was pretty consistent. It was always Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and Harry, I think. But then, randomly, like, one episode, Liz Allen comes in. I'm like... And that was before she was even the main character.
Yeah,
she was like, kind of just a character.
Yeah, I'm like, what was that?
It's like foreshadowing or something.
Literally in every episode it changes after that. And sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe the characters in the start will be main characters in that episode. But it's not always the case.
It's not always the case.
Sometimes they're just random people at the start.
But it's interesting. But I really like the song. It's catchy.
It's pretty good.
And I never skipped it. Because sometimes I just skip the intros, but I didn't skip it.
Yeah. No, I never skipped it because I always wanted to see who was in the intro. That's probably why they kept it. It's always someone different.
I guess if there's nothing else, we could go into real... We kind of did light spoilers anyway.
Yeah.
But we can do some real spoilers. So the biggest spoiler, I guess, is the season 2 ending.
Yeah.
So Green Goblin... So they did a bit of a twist. So Green Goblin... In the first season, it's established that Harry was Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And I actually believed it because it was taking that green stuff. So they explore this arc with Harry where he gets all depressed because...
He's basically taking drugs to do well.
Yeah, he's taking like performance-enhancing drugs. So he wants to look good for his dad, but because his dad has like really high expectations of him. And he always thinks that Peter is better than Harry. They kind of did that in the Sam Raimi films as well. So it's kind of... And it's in the comics as well. And then, yeah, Harry kind of gets depressed at one stage, and he takes this green solution that they're making.
It's like called Goblin. Or, no, Green Goblin.
It's called something. Green something, because he calls it green.
But the second word starts with gob.
Okay.
So it's basically Green Goblin serum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically taking it, he starts taking it because he wants to like join the football team.
Yeah,
like he joins the football team, and they should have been surprised because this guy was never really good at sports, and suddenly he's playing football. Same with Peter. Like Peter's better than all these guys that actually play football.
When in the football tryouts, is Peter not trying, or is he just shit at football? Because he should be owning them.
Well, at one stage. He does really well in the first 2 stages, because I think he is trying, and then he stops trying.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because I think he wants Harry to get through, so he stops trying. But he should have kind of noticed that Harry was unusually good as well.
But anyway, there's, like, whenever the Green Goblin shows up, Harry mysteriously disappears as
well. Yeah, and he has his blackouts where he just wakes up in bed.
But it's just pure coincidence.
So they never actually explained that. Like, what was Harry doing in those time.
It's just coincidence. Just whenever the Green Goblin showed up, he ran away.
And the green stuff that he was taking, that obviously doesn't do anything. Well, it doesn't make him Green Goblin.
I think it was just a steroid.
Yeah, he was just taking drugs, pretty much.
He was just taking drugs, yeah.
It's explained that Norman Osborn uses Harry Osborn as a scapegoat for Green Goblin. So he makes everyone think that Harry was Green Goblin, but it was actually him all the time.
There's this really funny scene in that last episode where it's revealed that Norman Osborn's the Green Goblin, and Harry's in the helicopter sitting next to another Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
And the guy takes off the mask and he's Chameleon.
Yeah, it's Chameleon, yeah.
And then he just jumps out of the helicopter. That's it. I don't know why I found it hilarious. Because he's like, ladies, I'm out of here. I didn't sign up for this shit.
But in that last episode, there was a stage where I thought that Harry's mum was the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be her as well.
Because you see her throughout the series, but she never says a word.
Yeah,
and she's just walking in and out of rooms.
It just turns out she's a severely depressed woman because her husband's a psychopath.
But yeah, you find out Norman is the Green Goblin, and in the last episode, they kind of show him dying, and they have like a funeral and everything, but he isn't actually dead.
He gets resurrected with a seedy mustache and
he's
gets onto a plane.
Yeah.
He gets resurrected as a pedophile.
He has this phrase that he always says, like he never says sorry or something, or he's never apologizes or something like that.
Oh yeah,
because that's the last line he said as well.
Line. But yeah, you kind of always expected him to be the Green Goblin, though. Well, I always did. I'm like, eventually he's going to become the Green Goblin.
Yeah, they kind of did it in the reverse order. Well, Harry was never the Green Goblin in this, but in the Sam Raimi movies, it's first Norman and then it's Harry. So in this, I was like, oh, maybe they just skipped the whole Norman thing and they just went straight to Harry for the first season. And then there's the episodes with Venom. So the first season, towards the end, it's all about Venom. And Peter eventually gets the Venom symbiote and he like puts it in this construction site and it gets buried under like 3 meters of concrete or something.
Yeah.
But then in the second season, he starts getting visions of Eddie Brock. And he just randomly sees Eddie Brock in places.
But that is Eddie Brock.
It is actually him. And Eddie wants the Venom symbiote back. He gets Peter like really paranoid. Well, he gets Peter to go back to where he put the Venom symbiote. And he's like, yeah, looks like, it's basically it was a construction site, but now they've just built this building on it. So he's like, yeah, it couldn't have been out. Maybe I'm just seeing things. But then it finds out that Eddie was following him the whole time. And he wanted to go back to where the Venom symbiote was.
And then somehow Eddie gets through like 3 meters of concrete.
He
like a pitchfork.
Yeah.
What does he use? He uses like a pick.
Yeah. That's all he does. He just starts. You just see him starting to like dig into this concrete.
It took him 3 years, but eventually he got there.
Yeah, he got there.
And then he comes.
He wanted that really bad.
Yeah.
So those 2 arcs I really liked overall because Green Goblin and Venom, I think they did really well, better than any of the movie versions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously, the Amazing Spider-Man Green Goblin is one of the worst things ever, and the Sam Raimi one's just a bit dated.
Dated, yeah. It's not that bad. I think the William Dafoe version of it is pretty good. It's not the worst, but yeah, it's just that when you watch it now, it's just a guy in a suit, and you can tell.
A really bad suit as well.
And the Venom that we saw in Spider-Man 3 was terrible.
Horrible. Do you think this Venom's better than Tom Hardy Venom, though?
The one in this show? Yeah. Probably, it's better because it's actual Venom. That's the only reason. The Tom Hardy Venom was good for what it was, I guess. He was good. I think this is more authentic to the comics. And they did Eddie Brock slightly different as well, because he's usually a reporter as well. But in this, it's
like a lab hand.
Yeah, he's like a research assistant. And he also has some history with Peter, because both their parents died in the same accident.
Yeah.
Except Peter still had Aunt May, but Eddie didn't have anyone. So he was pretty much just an orphan. So they had that background. And then, yeah, there's some episodes. There's an episode where he starts going crazy and he like takes Mary Jane on a date or something, and he starts speeding through traffic and stuff on his motorbike.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
But yeah, they did a good, like, I'm pretty sure they spent about an hour just on the Venom arc when you combine all the episodes together. So they did a pretty good job with that.
It's a pretty good arc as well. Would have liked to see more of it, but, you know, I would have liked to see a Venom and Spider-Man team up eventually, but never gets to it.
Yeah, it never gets to it, yeah. And I think in season 3, they were going to do Hobgoblin and Scorpion.
Okay.
Yeah, and possibly Carnage as well. So
Carnage would have been good. That would have been when Venom and Spider-Man team up.
So that would have been good. Apparently, season 1 and 2 are available in the UK and US through iTunes. And in the UK, they're available through PlayStation Store, Amazon Video, and Google Play. So maybe, I don't know, it might be on Amazon Video for us.
Yeah, it might be.
Oh, and it actually did release on Blu-ray. So it released on Blu-ray in 2014. So for those who want to watch it in full HD, it's available on Blu-ray.
It's probably worth it.
Yeah, it's a good series to own, I reckon. If you had to rank the superhero animated series, probably Batman the Animated Series is still the best one.
The best one, probably.
And then probably this, I reckon. And then probably Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which was also pretty good.
You haven't seen it yet, but Young Justice is
Young Justice, yeah.
The X-Men one's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, the old X-Men. Oh, even the new X-Men.
X-Men and the
Wolverine and X-Men, yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That's pretty good too. And Justice League, the animated show, is really good too. Generally, like, the DC ones back in the 90s were really good.
DC overall has been pretty good until recent times.
Well, some people really like the Teen Titans Go show as well, so...
No, that's shit. the original Teen Titans meant to be pretty good, but yeah.
But I always like the more serious DC ones better, like Justice League and Batman Animated Series. And even Superman Animated Series is not bad as well.
I don't think this is as good as any of those, but it's like up there.
It's probably the best Marvel one.
Yeah, I would say it's probably better than Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is the only other Marvel show that I think is kind of good.
And I guess the 90s...
Or X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men.
Wolverine and X-Men's pretty good. And the 90s X-Men and the 90s Spider-Man.
90s Spider-Man. Yeah.
Are good. But again, the animation, doesn't hold up for those. But the animation for Batman Animated Series still holds up.
If they just reanimated it and did the same story arcs, it would probably be better than this.
Just talking about the animation style, the style in this show reminded me of a show we used to watch. Remember Kim Possible?
Oh, yeah, it's similar to that.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. So, like, minimalist style. Whereas if you compare it to, like, a Young Justice or something, that's much more, like, detailed, the animation.
Yeah, it's better. It's better overall animation, but I like this animation. I like how it looks. Yeah. Dude, they're making a live action Kim Possible.
Are they?
Like a TV movie.
That'll be interesting.
It looks shit, but I'll probably still watch it.
Yeah. We used to watch... That was back when we had Disney Channel, I think. We used to watch Kim Possible.
I think I've seen, like, most of the episodes.
Because they were on, like, rerun all the time. So we used to watch, like, multiple times. But yeah, I think this is the first TV show that we've actually reviewed on this channel. So, yeah, it's one of the better ones. Maybe we'll do some more in the future. Maybe we'll do Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because that's another good show that people should watch. Not enough people have watched.
The first season was great. And that got me hyped for Avengers more than
the actual movies. Yeah,
yeah, the actual movies. Because I'm like, oh, this is what could happen.
Yeah. And that's what actually did happen in Avengers.
Oh, similar, but not exactly.
Because Loki was the main villain in that first season.
To be honest, the story that they do in the last few episodes of Earth's Mightiest Heroes is actually better than the overall Avengers movie. But, like, it would have been hard to do that story in an Avengers movie because it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The last 3 episodes are, like, really good in that series. Yeah. Of the first season, yeah.
But it wouldn't have overall made that much sense to do it.
Yeah, but I reckon they could do that now.
They could probably do it in Infinity War.
They could do that in Infinity War, and it would work. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a future episode, because I want to do a full episode on that show. I'll have to rewatch it, though. It's on Blu-ray as well. I'll try to get the Blu-ray of that.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it as well.
You know they're releasing Batman the Animated Series all on Blu-ray?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Including all the you know how they made some feature films? Like Mask of Phantasm and stuff? So it includes all of that. It's like 146 episodes or something.
Batman Beyond is also really good, which I forgot to mention before. And that's a follow-on from Batman, the animated series. It's the same Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, same Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Oh, you know, in the 90s Spider-Man animated series, Hobgoblin was voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he's doing basically Joker and Marvel Joker, which is what Green Goblin is.
Yeah. Well, Hobgoblin.
Yeah, Hobgoblin, basically.
So I guess we don't have much more to say about this show.
There's just that one story element that they kept doing in season 2. Well, there's a couple things they kept doing. One of them was they kept flashing back to the kids doing the stage play while Spider-Man does something.
That was in the drama episodes, I think.
And also in every single episode in season 2, they show like what happens halfway in between the episode at the start, and then they flash back to the start.
Yeah, that's right. They do
basically
like
every episode. Yeah,
they kind of show like just the pre-climax at the start, and then they show everything up to that point, and then they have the climax. They also had that episode where it was Flash Thompson's birthday, and everyone was talking to the camera.
Oh yeah, everyone's talking to the camera, and they keep intercutting that with
And wasn't it weird that Eddie Brock, who's like 5 years older than everyone, just rocks up to that
shows
party?
up at this party and no one says anything.
Yeah.
Everyone's okay with it.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the series, and I was watching this probably when I shouldn't have been watching it during exams.
Yeah.
So I'd like do some study, and then I'd be like, yeah, let's watch an episode. So, and each episode's only like 20 minutes, so I'd be like,
it's quick.
Just as a break, I'd watch them, and I watched the whole 2 seasons in 2 weeks when I was studying.
Yeah, it's if you enjoy cartoons, especially superhero cartoons, you'll probably enjoy this.
So I guess we could end with our overall ratings. You could tell that we both liked it, but for me, I'd say definitely if you're a Spider-Man fan, I reckon it's worth a watch at some stage. So it might be on Amazon Video for us in Australia, but yeah, as explained, it's available on a lot of platforms digitally, or you can buy it on Blu-ray, which is probably worth the investment, I would say, if you're into collecting Blu-rays. What's your rating?
68.25.
68.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it took me a while to figure that one out. I had to do the math.
And lastly, we'll end on what they had planned for this series after season 2. Which never actually happened. But they initially had a 3 to 4 episode arc, which was around the attack of the Lizard. So I think Lizard was going to come back, and they were going to have some more episodes on Green Goblin, and they were going to also have some like straight to DVD films. So they were going to have one on the holidays, so straight after this season 2. So he was going to go for a holiday in Florida. So we're going to have that, and they were also going to have some more straight-to-DVD films, so that between season 2 and 3. So one would feature Hobgoblin and one would feature Scorpion. And then they would also feature in the season 3 of the show. And they were also going to keep going with the show until Peter was in college years and his eventual marriage with Mary Jane. So they had quite a lot planned.
Oh, so he was eventually going to get with Mary Jane. Was Gwen going to die? I reckon Gwen would have died.
Yeah, maybe they had the whole plot point where she dies and then... Well, he breaks up with Liz Allen and he gets together with Gwen by the end of season 2, but nothing else.
And it seems like
that.
he wants to really be with Gwen for most of the series. So
yeah.
I reckon the only way he'll probably get with Mary Jane is if Gwen dies.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, obviously none of that's going to happen.
No.
So hopefully we get a good Spider-Man show at some stage.
Cartoon shows have gone down the drain a little bit. There's not a whole lot that's great at the moment.
So Young Justice is probably the best at the moment.
Yeah, well, which got cancelled as well and got brought back, so...
But how long ago was Young Justice aired? Was it around the same time as this?
Let me have a look. I'm actually rewatching that at the moment. It aired in 2010. Was the first episode.
Okay, so it was after this. But yeah, it could come back because it's not that long ago.
Hopefully, but they have a new Spider-Man show at the moment.
Yeah. Apparently that one gets better though, so maybe we should give it a chance.
Yeah, I guess if it's getting better, then maybe we can give it a chance.
I guess we can talk about what you've been watching Titans, or like you've watched the first 2 episodes or something.
I watched the first 2 episodes. Yeah.
How are they?
I probably went in with pretty low expectations because of what the trailer looked like. Yeah. It's not that bad. It's overall, like, it doesn't delve into too many origin kind of stories, so it gets straight into a bit of action, which is good. Dick Grayson's a detective, and he moved away from Gotham to Detroit or something, and something's happened between him and Batman. We're not sure why. Raven is like this teenager, and her mum gets killed by this dude, and she finds Dick Grayson, and Dick's trying to help her out. Starfire's briefly in the first episode in like Austria, and weird shit's happening. She's like suffering from amnesia. Beast Boy's not really in it at all. He goes to a Harvey Norman store and steals a video game at the end of the first episode.
Okay.
As a line.
Goes to like a Best Buy or something.
And there's like Hawk and Dove in it as well in the second episode. Yeah, but it's on the serious side, and it's more, I guess, dark and gritty. The action's
it is DC.
Yeah, it's along those lines, but it's not like totally devoid of happiness and everything. There's like still light moments. It's not like everyone's always brooding all the time.
Yeah.
Or they are a little bit, but it's not that bad.
So you reckon it's worth a watch?
At the moment, it's okay. I'm interested to see where it's going. There's no real villain at the moment. It's just kind of stuff happening. But Dick Grayson's pretty good in it. So that's the only reason I'm kind of watching it at the moment. And the action's really good.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson's basically like Batman. There's this one cool part in the first episode where he's in this alley, and there's this one guy that he wants to beat up because the guy's beating up his daughter, and there's some drug deal it's like a ammunitions deal going on while he's there, and he drops in, and everyone's like, oh, it's just Robin, and they're all looking around for Batman, and they're like, oh, where's Batman? And then he beats the shit out of all of them, and then he's like, fuck Batman.
Okay.
That's when he says fuck Batman. Yeah.
I guess it sort of makes that a little bit better than what they had in the trailer.
It's a little bit better than it looked in the trailer. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's ultra violent and very bloody.
Okay. So we'll keep tabs on that then through you.
Yeah.
You can give us a weekly update on Titans. When do episodes come out? Are they all out?
No, there's only 2 out.
Okay. Are they doing like a weekly
release? Weekly release.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get a weekly update from you on Titans.
Yeah, we'll wait till it goes to total shit, and I'm like, this is the worst show ever, which it eventually will probably. But at the moment, it's still good.
All right, I guess that's all we had for this week. Hopefully, we inspired you to watch this show because it's pretty good, and we're going to be doing some more TV show reviews now.
Maybe Young Justice once the new season comes out as well.
Yeah, we'll do Young Justice as well. Maybe
watch it.
We'll do some of the older ones too. So we'll do Avengers S Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do Batman Animated Series. That's a lot to get through though.
It's a lot to get
through. That's a lot to get through.
So many episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen all of them, so it would be good to. I might get the box set when it comes out.
It will be hard to get through all of them. Some episodes aren't that good. But some of them are amazing.
Some of them are really good. Do
you remember that one episode where Batman doesn't have his suit and he's like locked away in this desert place?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it's a funny episode. I remember we used to always watch it. It had weird music in it.
Oh, yeah. I remember, yeah. I like the episode with Mr. Freeze. That one's really good.
Oh, yeah. What's it called? It's called...
A Touch of Ice or something?
A Touch of Frost or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or a Heart of Ice or something? I think it's a Heart of Ice.
Heart of Ice, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. There's some really good stuff in there.
We could probably just watch the better episodes and review those ones.
There's quite a few of them. And the movies are good too. Mask of Phantasm
is really good.
All right, then. If you have any suggestions for us, you can contact us on email, Twitter, or Instagram. So what are those?
Social media. Hit us up.
So what are those?
Do I need to say them?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that would be enough. It's at Cognitive Recalibration on Facebook and Twitter. No, Facebook and Instagram's Cognitive Recalibration. Twitter's at C Recalibration, and Gmail's Cognitive Recalibration Podcast at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Yep. We're on all streaming platforms now, so you can catch us on any of those. The other thing we want to say is if you do like our podcast, please do subscribe so you don't miss an episode. But yeah, I think that's all we had for this week.
That's about it.
All right then, guys. See ya.
All right. See ya.
See ya.